Once again, for you all that are in here for the first time, please turn your cell phones off as a courtesy to the coaches and the athletes. We're going to start with a statement from head coach Tom Walter, and then we're going to open it up for questions to the student athletes. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get one of the hand mics to you, and give us your name and affiliation, and then ask the question. If it's to a specific player, let us know to whom you're directing the question. Once again, recording the press conference on recording video on cell phones is prohibited in here. So we'll start here. Coach, give us an overview.
Thank you. We're just thrilled to be here. Obviously, I was telling these guys the other day, I've been a head coach for 27 years, and this has always been a dream. And I'm truly glad that I haven't been here before, because I wouldn't want to be here with any other team. This group of guys and the way they've come together and how much they care about each other and how hard they work has truly been special to be part of. It all started with a conversation we had in my office with these two guys to my left and the other leverage freshmen in the spring of 2021, when we were struggling as a team and our team culture was fractured, and we made a plan. These guys could have left for greener pastures, but they decided they wanted to build something special at Wake Forest, and they got to work doing that meeting starting forward from there. And this is the culmination of that work. It's a player-led organization. These two guys are at the front of that. Our team motto is "Make 'em feel ya," and these guys live that every day. They're dedicated Deeks. I want to thank the people of Omaha for how they welcomed us here. I want to thank the ABCA and the folks at the College World Series, the way they've treated us since we've been here. You hear all these stories about what a great event this is, and until you're here, you really don't realize the impact and the scope of it. And it's, again, we've only been here a couple days, a little over 24 hours, but it's been a whirlwind, and we can't wait to get on the field and play.
Okay, let's open it up for questions now for our student athletes. Again, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you, and we'll start here with Jake.
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Brock, what did it mean to break the career home run record at home for you?
Yeah, it was pretty special. Being able to do that at home, such a career milestone, that was pretty special. Especially getting to do it in front of our fans and with my brothers right next to me. It was a moment that I've long awaited.
Okay, right here.
Essex there, blogger so dear. This goes for both of you guys. What does it mean to finally be here now that you've been in Omaha for a few days? You just practiced on the field. What did that feel like doing that for the first time?
Rhett?
It was awesome. We didn't really get to see the field. I didn't see it until we just got here. I was up top and I looked down, and it just took the breath away from me. So, these are the moments you take in today and tomorrow. Really enjoy it. And then Saturday, it's ready to go. So once we step in between those lines, like we talked about earlier in the week, we only have one goal, and that's to bring it home. So,
Brock?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's really eye-opening. You don't really grasp the scope of how special this moment really is until you get to step on that field. And I just took a little gaze around, and took a glance at all the fans and people screaming your name, and it's pretty cool. Not too many people get to do this, so it's a very special moment.
Had a question back here.
Hi, Grace Boyles with WOWT here in Omaha for Rhett or Brock. Just having this historic year for both of you, and then being able to document it with those Polaroids in the dugout, what has it meant to be able to look back at that and have that documentation of this year?
Brock?
Polaroids are really special. It captures a in the moment feeling, and not too many people get to see that from the outside perspective. So for the world to get to see that, it's just a little glimpse of how much fun we have together in the dugout, and we got some more Polaroids to put up.
Right.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. Every win we collect, we hang it on the board, and it's one of the coolest things that I think we've ever done. And every personal achievement, like Brock's 1 million homers, he gets one for every one of those. And then the few that I've gotten this year, I'll get to keep a little memory, probably give them to my mom or something at the end of the year. So it's pretty cool little gift.
Okay, Brandon.
Hi, Brendan Prizeman for the Omaha World Herald. This is for both Rhett and Brock. Both of you guys have really turned it up another level. Rhett, you're 2-0 this month. Both times you've gone over 6 innings pitched. And then, Brock, I believe you hit safely in 8 of your last 9, including 4 hits in the closing game of the Super Regional. But as you guys have mentioned, there's something a little more special about being in Omaha. So how are you guys planning to keep up that hot streak, knowing that the pressure's a little bit different on this stage?
Brock.
Yeah, being able to go out there and play with my best friends in the biggest moment, it lets me relax a little bit more. I can go be myself. I don't have to put too much pressure on myself about I got to do this in this situation. So it's a little bit easier to go out there and we're playing the same game in Omaha. It just means a little bit more. So got to go out there and continue what we've been doing all year.
Right.
Yeah, I was actually talking about it with some of the guys the other day. It's pretty interesting. Like the postseason, the stats don't really matter. It's kind of just wins. So it doesn't I don't think you're gonna really remember what each guy, like maybe a big home run or something like that, but it doesn't really matter unless you win the game. So that's kind of like the cool part about the postseason, especially here. As long as you get the job done, it doesn't matter.
Okay, up here front. Well, fight among yourselves here. Jake.
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Rhett, what has kind of the addition for Bennett Lee behind the plate done for you personally, as well as the rest of your staff?
Bennett's awesome. You can't ask for a better catcher back there, and a guy that handles one of the better pitching staffs in the country. He came in and then wasted no time getting to know everyone. I feel like that's a big part of a catcher is getting comfortable with all the guys, and he knows the differences between each pitcher and what each guy needs. So, just having him back there is one of the better gloves that I've ever seen. It's huge and gives every guy like the most confidence in the world.
Okay, right up here.
This goes for both Brock and Rhett. For being the #1 team in the country for quite some time with 52 wins, it seems like Wake Forest has flown under the radar for the majority of the season. But now in Omaha, there's certainly a target on your guys' backs as the #1 overall seed. How do you handle that, especially it being your first time here?
Okay.
Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, they said that there's the #1 seed curse to get here, but then we got here. So, it kind of doesn't really matter the seeding anymore. Everyone's going to be good. So if we play a good, clean game, that's all we can really do. If we don't play great, then it's going to be a tough road ahead. Everyone's pretty good here.
Brock.
Yeah, that ranking means something till you get here. And once you get here, those rankings mean nothing anymore. It's just about who goes out, plays the loosest, and has the most fun. That team's more than likely going to win. So we just got to keep playing our brand of baseball, and we'll be all right.
Okay, Brandon.
So, as you guys have said, the ranking doesn't really mean that much, but the manner in which you got it, you guys didn't lose consecutive games all year long. Talk a little bit about the importance of that consistency, especially now that you're here and now that it's all about just keeping that winning alive.
Both players?
Yeah, both.
Okay, Rhett, start.
Yeah, I think that's just a testament of the work that we go into and put into it. So, our kind of motto is just playing the game, and then we don't try and get too big and don't try and get too low. So if we show up every day and just play our game and do what we do well, then usually it works in our favor. You're not going to win every game, but as long as we do what we do, we have a pretty good shot of going in there and winning.
Brock?
Yeah, like you said, you're not going to win every game. So going out there and, bouncing back, it's all about how you respond. And we responded really well to any adversity that's ever hit us all year. So when that adversity hits, we know how to bounce back, and that's just with the love and fun that we have with one another. So being able to do that and, like you said, not lose consecutive games, it's huge. So being able to go into this weekend, it's pretty special.
Okay, we'll go back to Eric here.
Eric Olson with the Associated Press. Brock, you guys hit 9 home runs the other day. You had 3 of them. The ball seems to be flying a lot in college baseball this year for you guys. After going through batting practice, how was the ball carrying today, and how do you think this ballpark is going to play for you?
Yeah, it actually looks a lot bigger on TV than it is in person. It carries a good bit here. So going out there and trying to stay within our plan and in our approach. If we do that, we'll be all right. So hopefully we can do that this week, and we'll be good.
Okay, Alex.
Alex Day, College Baseball Central. Rhett, can you tell us a little bit about the pitching lab you guys have there at Wake Forest and how that's helped you develop as a pitcher?
Yeah, no, the lab's been a tremendous help. Coming in, I didn't really know much about anything that went on in there, and there's still, trust me, I'm not an expert. There's a lot of stuff that's over my head, but I kind of took my time and just tried to learn a lot. So early on, I needed to just be comfortable in there, and then each year in the off season more so than during the season. The off season, I live in there, and then just it's just little tweaks here and there that we always find something to get better at, and I think it's a huge advantage. I don't utilize it as much in the season just because I don't want to tweak with a lot when you only have like 6 days to get back out there. But I think it's a big part, and we have a lot of information that a lot of people don't have, so we got to utilize it.
Okay. Go with Grace here.
Rhett, Brock, how would you define the team motto? I want to get it right. Make them feel ya.
It's a motto we came up with on our fall retreat as a team, and that motto means every person that we interact with, we have to make them feel us in whatever way, and it's always in a positive and energetic way. And the more we can do that, the more people we impact and leave a legacy. That means the world to us.
Yeah, I mean, he covered it pretty much full and full. It's pretty much every person that you run into, like he said. It could be your own teammate. If they're slacking in any way, you got to make them feel you in any sort of way. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Okay, Jake, this will be our last question for the players.
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Rhett, you've generated a ton of draft buzz this year. How do you kind of ignore that and focus on the game itself when there is so much more surrounding you?
Yeah, I mean, it's something you don't really worry about at the moment. It's a little bit easier when you have a pretty good team. So all you have to do is focus on trying to go out there and win. So it might be a little bit different if we weren't in this situation we were in. But no, it hasn't really been too hard up until this point.
Okay, guys, you're excused, and we'll let y'all clear the room, and we'll have questions for Tom.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Ryan Socich, is there baseball contact SID? See you Saturday. Okay, I'll open it up now for questions for Coach Walter, and we'll start right here. Once again, remember to give your name and your affiliation.
Essex there, blogger so dear. Walt, how do you handle the next 48 hours before, first pitch on Saturday?
I think it's going to be business as usual, really. It's just game prep, from here on in is making sure our guys are rested and hydrated and well-fed, of course, and making sure we get a little something out of our lift this afternoon and our team practice tomorrow. So I think it's no different than, headed into a regional or a weekend series, really. So it's just getting ready for Stanford at this point.
Yep. Okay. Brendan?
Coach, at this point, you're the second longest tenured coach in Demon Deacon's history behind only George Greer. What does it mean to you that finally, after so many close years, 2016, 2017, last year, what does it mean to you to finally be here and give the school their first CWS appearance since 1955?
Well, it means the world to me personally and to our staff and to our Wake community. We've got such great fans and such passionate fans and loyal baseball fans. And the way they turned out for us in the regional and the super regional was truly amazing. And excuse me. And this has been building. The community support we've had has really been building since the Miami series in March as we continued our ranking, continued to climb, and our guys continued to respond and get better as the season go on and continue to win and be so consistent. Our crowds, improved. We started out 1,800 or so against Miami, then it was 2,400 against NC State, and then it was 2,600 against Coastal Carolina, and it just kept growing from there. So it's really been fun to kind of watch how the Winston-Salem community's rallied around this team.
Okay, next question. Okay, Essex.
Essex there, blogger so dear. Coach, is the plan for Rhett Lowder Day to be on Saturday, and then what's the pitching plan starting wise for the rest of the opening bracket?
Yeah, Rhett will start on Saturday. Josh Hart will start on Monday. Those things are for sure. Keener and Sullivan will be available out of the bullpen on Saturday, and we won't hesitate to go to one or both. And then obviously, the normal bullpen pieces with Massey, Manassi, Roland, et cetera. So, hoping to get as much length as we can out of Rhett and turn it over to our good bullpen.
Just busted a tradition there, Essex. Jake?
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Coach, obviously Wake has had a storybook season. Did they kind of have your expectations met at this point, or are they exceeding them at this point?
I think they've exceeded them. Again, for us to be sitting here 52-10, I wouldn't have thought that. I thought we had a good chance to win the regular season championship. I thought we'd be in the mix for that. But to do it the way we did, so convincingly, to not have lost a series all year, to not have lost back-to-back games all year is just a big testament to not only their consistency, but their toughness. So they've certainly exceeded expectations in every way, shape, or form. But the good news is I'm not even sure we've played our best baseball yet. I feel like we can play even better than we've been playing.
Okay, any more questions for Tom? Yeah, Brandon, you do have one? Okay.
Yeah, Coach Brendan Prizeman, Omaha World Herald. This team has been almost historically good. The plus 59 run differential, I believe it is the best of all time for any College World Series team, I think, ever. How do you make sure that the players are able to continue that level of performance without maybe getting too much in their own heads about the moment or about protecting that run differential or that number one seed?
Yeah, we haven't, there have been a couple times this year where I felt like we've played not to lose. I felt like that opening game at Pittsburgh, we played a little tight. We had some balls hit right at people. So we got tested along the way, and we had some good teachable moments so that we could avoid this later in the season. I told them at Pittsburgh after we lost that first game that I was glad that happened because it might happen in a super regional. You might be at a super regional, lose the first game, and need to win the next two. And how you respond is everything. And whether it's a tough loss that you have to respond for, or it's you giving up a 4 spot that you have to respond. How you respond is everything. And our team has handled those situations really well. And I just don't see how this week is going to be any different for those guys.
Okay, we have a question from the Zoomiverse here. Please give us your name and affiliation, and then ask your question.
Yeah, it's Noah Fleischman from the Daily News Record. Coach, you played with Coach O'Connor and Coach O'Sullivan, for a summer in Harrisonburg. What do you remember from that summer, and what is it like to, kind of be on the same stage, with them as you chase your first national title?
Well, it's just awesome because, until now, I was the only coach of the three who hadn't gotten to Omaha. So Coach Sullivan and the only coach of the three that still doesn't have a national championship under their belt. So I still got some work to do to catch those two guys, but it's really special to be here with them. And I remember that summer of 1990, very fondly at the L&S Diner in Harrisonburg, Virginia. We had a good summer.
Okay, here in the back, can't see.
Larry Sorensen with Learfield. Tom, you had a chance to watch batting practice, and Brock gave his answer on how the ball was playing and carrying. Your thoughts on that, and also your thoughts on your team on grass and dirt instead of on turf.
Yeah, thanks, Larry. So I thought it carried a little better than I expected it to today, but we still got to, in general, live lower than we've been living. We certainly can't expect some of the home runs we've hit at our ballpark or other ballparks in the ACC. If you look across our league, there's probably only 1 or 2 pitchers parks like in the whole league. They're mostly hitters parks in our league. So it's not just our ballpark that plays a little smaller in our league. So we definitely have to lower our ball flight in general and change our pitch plan a little bit too. But as far as grass and dirt, we handled that well in the conference tournament. Our defense was good. We struggled early with it early in the year at Coastal Carolina, and then at Duke, our defense wasn't great. But really, since then, our defense on the natural surface has been really good.
Okay, Essex.
Essex Air Blogger So Dear. Coach, in terms of field conditions, especially with the longer alleys than what you have at the couch, does that affect at all how you utilize Lucas Costello or Adam Cecere in left?
Yeah, that certainly complicates that decision. And normally we'd make a totally offensive decision there, who was the better pitching matchup between those two guys. But with this ballpark, to your point, if it's close, we'll probably go with defense. So yeah, it definitely impacts the decision between those two for sure.
Okay, Jake.
Coach Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Both super regional games were blowouts. How did you kind of not let your guys get too high, knowing that it gets a lot harder once you get to Omaha?
Yeah, again, the first game against Alabama was certainly no blowout. I mean, Holman gave us all we could handle, and we were, it was a good game that could have went either way. It came down to the last pitch of the game. And again, that second game, for the first 3-4 innings of that game, it certainly didn't feel like a blowout. We were able to extend the lead, but at our ballpark, when the wind's blowing out like that, even when it's 10-3, you don't feel super comfortable. So again, we're battle tested. We've been through our league, we've been through the conference tournament, the regional, and now, I mean, again, for our guys, they said it both really well. They do a good job of kind of staying on us, and we feel like if we do our thing, we're going to be in really good shape, and be who we are. Just as we like to say, just play normal. Just go out there and do what we've done all year.
Let's go back to Zoom. Once again, please give us your name and affiliation.
I'm Skip Foreman with the Winston-Salem Journal. Coach, you have been surrounded recently by the tradition and the history of the baseball. How does that impact you in terms of carrying a banner for Wake Forest with the people like Gene Hooks around? What impact is that?
Yeah, thanks, Skip, for asking that question, because I'm glad I have a chance to talk about Dr. Hooks and the legacy of this program. It dates back to that 55 national championship team, Billy Ray Barnes and Jack McGinley and those guys that are still with us. They're loyal supporters. They come out to our games. We see those guys all the time, and nobody's more fired up for us and our success than they are. And then Gene Hooks, he was out there with us on Sunday when we clinched against Alabama. Dr. Hooks was there. He was down on the field. He had the Omaha sign in his lap, and nobody was happier than he was for our accomplishment. So we're just really proud to be able to represent the legacy that is Wake Forest baseball. It runs deep and it runs wide, and we're just proud to be here on their behalf.
All right, any more questions for Tom? If not, thank you, and we'll see you Saturday.
Thank you. Appreciate you.